We're talking trades. It's deadline season, hashtag deadline season. So the Athletic put out their trade bait board today. I believe you've looked it over, so you know who's on the board. My statement is, here it is for those on YouTube. We've got it here. The Maple Leafs will land one of the top 10 players on this trade bait board. So one of the guys who are ranked in their top 10 on the board will be in a Toronto Maple Leafs uniform by the end of the trade deadline.
I'm going to klquickly go through them. Bo Horvat, Jacob Chychrun, you got Patrick Kane, Timo Meier, John Klingberg, Ryan O'Reilly, John Daves. I'm scrolling fast. Sorry, folks. Vladimir Tarasenko, Matt Dumba, and Brock Besser rounds out the top 10. I'm going to co-sign it because I do think that the Leafs are going to try to get one of the top. Like they know that they're going to need help at the deadline, and they can't go and try to help around the edges. I think they realize they need to make a significant move to really boost their chances.
So who's that guy, Dave?
I
if you had to put money on it, which one of those guys in the top 10 that you're guaranteeing becomes a Maple Leaf by the end of the deadline, which one of those guys do you think it is? Or better yet, who do you think it will be, but also who do you want it to be? Or it could be the same person.
I'm getting the Ryan O'Reilly vibes because he's not going to cost what Bo Horvat is going to cost. He has the playoff experience. He performs well in the playoffs. He
Conn Smythe winner.
Conn Smythe winner. You can put him on. You can do so many things with him. Like I think it was the Athletic that kind of looked at options of what a Ryan O'Reilly trade could do for the Leafs.
Yeah, Jonas Siegel and Jeremy Rutherford of the Athletic. Rutherford covering it on the Blues angle. Siegel covering it from a Leafs angle. They did a legitimate, I think yesterday, they put out a piece about what a potential Leafs Blues O'Reilly trade could look like.
Yeah. So like it's more so, do you see him as the second line center moving Tavares to the wing, or do you have O'Reilly play on the wing on Tavares's wing and then you move, or the other option is you play him at third line center? I like that it'll give them options. Right. And it just he just seems like that player that gives you all the elements you'll need. My only concern, how's the injury? Right. You know, he's currently out with, I believe it's a broken foot. That's not a good thing, but he's also a very tough guy, and I expect that he'll be able to kind of get himself ready to go. And this is probably like St. Louis is probably thinking, if we knew he wasn't going to be doing well this season, we would have tried to trade him a lot sooner and get more out of him. But I think he'll be re-energized to go and play for a contender as well.
Yeah. So what's his situation this year? Let me just really quickly look that up. I'm with you. I think Ryan O'Reilly is probably the number one target. I think the Maple Leafs will have, but also should have on their trade bait board if they're looking to go the forward route. The one other player that wasn't on the top 10, though, that I think probably slides in as a 1B to Ryan O'Reilly that I would like for them to go after. O'Reilly, by the way, this year, his numbers look as 7 goals, 16 points for 30 in 7 games. So, again, that offense has really dropped off, just 16 points in 37 games, which here's the one scare about that, which is why maybe he's the 1B, and I'm thinking about the guy on the outside of that top 10 list, and I'll share that in a moment. Do you look at that production and think to yourself, what if this is Nick Foligno 2.0? You know, we thought he was going to be the answer, but he's just over the hill and not what he once was, and he's not going to live up to the price tag that you give up. It makes sense at the time, but then just doesn't live up to it and ultimately doesn't work out. And, you know, we're resentful of that trade, much in the way that when we look at the Foligno deal in hindsight, didn't like it as much as we did at the time. That's my one hang up on Ryan O'Reilly, just kind of looking at his, you know, soft stats so far this season. Like 16 points in 37 games, that ain't great. You know, that ain't great. You're going to have to give up a first-round pick plus, like, another prospect potentially on top of that, gives you a little bit of pause. If you're
Yeah,
the
it's
on that.
certainly any deal you make, you're kind of hoping it works out. Yeah, the O'Reilly one, because he's not producing, you're hoping also that the injury doesn't, like with Foligno, we also heard that the injury kind of resurfaced again and that impacted him.
Dude, I'm sorry. Where's Ryan O'Reilly right now?
I know
Where is he? You need to say it.
he's on the injured list. He's on
Oh, is that so? With what injury that is?
broken foot.
Oh, is that going to be important having a healthy foot while playing the sport of hockey?
I mean, I've seen players play on a broken foot before because you can just boot that thing up. But no, I mean, look, the
I'm
Leafs
just saying it's a
going.
it's a concern of
It's
mine.
a
I'll be
concern.
honest. It's a concern of mine because we've kind of been there before with Foligno, where we did look the other way to the age and the injury history because we liked the intangibles that he brought. I don't know if it is the same, but it kinda has the similar smell. If
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think but the thing is, Kyle Dubas has learned from those things, and he generally doesn't make the same mistake twice for the most part. Like he's cautious about those things, so I'm hoping he'll be cautious in those situations. Now, who is the guy that you have at the top of your list as your 1A?
Pull up the list again. You have it still? You didn't get
Yep.
out of it?
Right
Okay.
here.
So, you're looking at number 10 right now. No, go yeah, go back to
10. Oh, sorry.
stop, right. Okay, go. Ready? Go down one player, please. Vladislav Gavrikov is a very intriguing player to me if I am the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you're not sure about this cat because he plays in Columbus, I'll tell you a little bit about him. Good size, 6'3", 215 pounds. Likes to hit, likes to block shots, plays a physical game. Absolute workhorse, averaging over 22 and a half minutes a night. Who is a player that reminds you of that the team currently does not have in their roster and still might be wanting to fill that quota?
I did say that the Leafs should be looking to get another Jake Muzzin type player.
Oh, does that sound like a Jake Muzzin type player to you, David?
He very much does.
Exactly, and that is the player that I'm thinking as of today. This could change, and obviously this changes all the time. But as of today, which is January 18th, I think Vladislav Gavrikov is officially 1A on my Leafs trade board, and Ryan O'Reilly be 1B. I like him, and Pierre LeBrun was talking about it on TSN Hockey Insider yesterday, and apparently they're looking for a first round pick plus maybe a third round pick because that's what they got for David Savard a few years ago. I think Gavrikov's a better player than David Savard, but he's more than 10 teams have already shown interest.
I'm highlighting this for a specific reason because if people think a first round pick, as soon as you hear that a bunch of teams are interested,
Price goes up. Exactly.
Yep.
Supply and demand. There's not a lot of top four physical defensemen who are cheap and can fit in your cap structure. And that's exactly what Gavrikov is. He's a UFA. So, you could only be one and done and he could enter the market. You could try and bring him back next season, see what they decide to do there. But he is definitely a player of interest. If I were the Toronto Maple Leafs, first round pick, maybe a B prospect, I think I'd be interested in doing something there for Vladislav Gavrikov. All right. Actually, I think we could probably end it there. I think that was just a good chat. Do
Yeah.
2 each. Yeah, that was good
Yeah,
stuff.
I will say the Leafs also do have a extra third round pick that does belong to the Ottawa Senators.
In the Matt Murray deal. Correct.
That could intrigue some teams because Ottawa's picks are going to be a little more valuable than what the Leafs picks are.
Yeah, this is true. This is very, very true. But we'll see. I mean, we will have plenty more trade discussions and topics, and maybe we should get the Locked On Blues or Locked On Blue Jackets host on to talk about some of these players and talk about what some of these deals could look like. It's that time of year. I love doing it. We did it last year with a couple of host around the network, and we should do it again. I think that people would enjoy that. If you would, let us know down below. Give us a thumbs up on the comment or a thumbs up on the video, a comment down below. If there's a specific team or player that you want us to inquire on, let us know down below, and we'll try and get that team's locked on host to come on and give us a little scouting report and see what they'd be thinking of what type of return they would need for said players. So let us know in the comment section down below, or let us know on Twitter if you're listening via podcast at Mickey_Canuck and at D_Morassutti.